And now for our main event of the evening. The energy in the crowd was insane as Shaw Air Force Base fan favorite Ferdinando Acerra defends his belt against the very dangerous Joe Pacheco. Where do you see this?
This sure is a crazy way to draw attention to .co domain names from GoDaddy.
Who won't notice a hot model in body paint?
True. She stands out like a hot new .co.
They definitely get you noticed.
That's why smart businesses go with .cos from GoDaddy.
Done. Wow.
I think we missed a spot.
Spots.
See a lot more now at GoDaddy.co.
MMA on the rise here at Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina for Fight Lab 22. I'm your host, Tom Ziegler, here with the Fight Tech, Paul Boo, and the Master of Cool, Kevin Ferrant. We've got our main event of the evening for the 205 Fight Lab belt. We got Joseph Pacheco making his way to the cage.
We got Joe Pacheco. He's 27 years old, 205 pounds, 5'9", fights out of Renegade Fighting Systems. This guy is a state champion wrestler, and he's tightening up his boxing. And we can see that with his last winning being a knockout of Cliff Thompson in Elite Championship cage fighting.
Yeah, he comes in with a record of 4-1. His one loss was due to guillotine choke under Marvin Skipper, but Marvin Skipper's known for his submission. So, I mean, you know, that's one of those things that, you know, to be submitted by a guy like that is not necessarily, I mean, it sucks, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, that guy's, you know, he submits everybody. But Pacheco is a beast. I mean, he's an athlete. He hits like a truck, state champion wrestler. But then again, Ferdinando Acerra, man, good grappler, very vicious ground and pound.
They're kind of identical fighters. Fernando Acerra, another great wrestler with some heavy hands. I've seen him with some very, very impressive ground and pound. And his lone loss is a submission loss to Brandon Beach, submission to the armbar.
You can see Joseph Pacheco in the cage, getting himself comfortable. Powerful 205er. He's 5'9". He's going to be giving up some height to Ferdinando Acerra at 6 foot. We'll see how that plays out in the cage with any reach advantage.
Ferdinando Acerra making his way to the ring, or to the cage, with a standing ovation. He is definitely the fan favorite here.
He is the hometown favorite. This crowd is going crazy for him.
Wow, the whole entire place is on their feet cheering. You know, definitely, you know, Pacheco, you know, wonder if that's going to get in his head, if it's going to bother him. He seems to be pretty cool, pretty calm. You know, sometimes when you're in the cage, you don't even notice the crowd. Some people do. It just depends on the fighter.
Well, this is clearly a pro-Acerra crowd. The crowd still on their feet, still standing ovation. Acerra coming out with his entourage, getting himself ready for the referee to check him out.
Yeah, if there's 5,000 people here, he's got 4,995 fans in this building.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You know, when they were doing the cage announcements earlier tonight, announcing the fighters who are going to be fighting, he got the biggest cheer for sure. It was electric in here, and he's getting that same response now. Everybody patiently waiting his arrival to the cage.
He's 5-1. He's your Fight Lab champion. He's on a 4-fight win streak, all by either a submission or KO. Tremendous, tremendous fighter here. Referee checking him out. He's going to get greased up. He's going to be making his way into the cage very soon. Pacheco looks calm, collected. He looks focused. Looks like he's ready to take that belt.
Yeah, both guys very experienced competitors. This is probably one of the most highly anticipated fights that I've seen this year so far.
And this place is electric. We can feel the people behind us. We can see the crowd still on their feet.
You know, this is reminiscent of Fight Lab, I believe it was Fight Lab 20 or 21 when you fought Michael Lale. That was a pretty highly anticipated fight as well. And it had a similar feel to this, but wow, this crowd is exploding for Ferdinando Acerra.
Yeah, I tell you, I love having the crowd behind me when I fight. It gives me the best feeling in the world, and it makes it feel like everything you're doing is worth it.
And I know most fighters, they do this, they do it for themselves. It's not so much an outward thing, it's more of an inward thing they're doing for themselves, but having that outward, you know, people accepting you and supporting you, that goes a long way. The crowd showing their dislike for Joe Pacheco.
Very pro Acerra crowd for sure.
Listen to that crowd.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. I got chills.
Man, the place lit up when they announced his name. $205-pound Fight Lab title on the line.
5 4-minute rounds.
Here we go with round one.
For the power these guys have in their hands and their feet, obviously, this might not make it out of the first. Oh, vicious uppercuts.
Uppercuts from the clinch. Nice exchange.
Acerra looks like he's gunning for the head with that head kick. Pacheco out of the clinch landed really nice uppercuts. I think Pacheco won that exchange.
Pacheco looks very calm right here.
Oh! Double leg blast. He saved himself by catching the fence. Ref warns him for it.
I think it's going to be very hard to get Pacheco to the ground, but that shot was set up as well as any I've ever seen.
Very nicely done. The only thing saved it was the cage. Pacheco's got an underhook. He's keeping himself on his feet. They exchange knees.
They're going tit for tat on those knees.
I'd like to see Pacheco throw a rounded knee to the outside of the thigh here.
Yeah, you do like those rounded knees, don't you?
I like all knees.
Yeah.
I can attest, Master of Cool, they do hurt.
Your training partners and your former opponents would agree with that. I've been on the receiving end of a few of those knees too.
Both fighters continue to fight for position against the cage. Acerra goes to change levels, grabs a single.
He's trying to pick that ankle. Now, Acerra's really working hard for that takedown. And that could actually, if he gets the takedown, it's a big reward, but it could work against him if this fight goes later in the rounds.
Pacheco grabbed the cage again and gets another warning from the referee. If he does it one more time, he may get a point taken.
Acerra was in deep on that. He finishes, but Pacheco scrambles back up. Good hips.
Right back to his feet.
Ferdinando Acerra is really putting a lot of extra energy in getting this takedown.
Takes a lot out of you. He needs to
hopefully his gas tank will hold out. Acerra trying to drag him off the cage with a single leg. He went to a double leg momentarily, went right back to the single. Pacheco's body locking over.
They're throwing some elbows down on the back.
Pacheco showing great takedown defense.
I expected nothing less out of the state champion wrestler.
Absolutely.
Now he's got, Pacheco looks like he might be potentially setting up an arm-in guillotine. Well, he looks like he's let it go now.
He's looking over his corner for instruction, doing a very good job at listening to their direction.
Acerra still working hard to get that takedown. He's got his hands locked on the single.
He's got his head on the outside. He maybe want to be careful here because he switches over to the other leg. A smart move by Acerra.
Now Acerra takes a negative position there.
Pacheco spins to the back.
Now Acerra might have gassed himself. He's tired.
Yeah, he's in a bad position here. Needs to keep his back against the cage so he doesn't get his back taken. He needs to stand up and face Pacheco.
Acerra's breathing really heavy already. Pacheco staying calm.
Nicely done.
Turns into him.
Good right hand.
Going for that head kick again. He's telegraphing a little bit.
Pacheco looks like he's hurt.
Yeah, Pacheco's limping back to his corner. I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Nice Harley. Thanks. Yeah, I was gonna get one of those myself, but I spent the $64.95 on a killer dinette set. It was tough, you know. It was Harley, dinette set, Harley, dinette set. Went with the dinette set.
I think he popped his knee.
Yeah, he's holding his knee, his right knee currently. Saying he hurt his knee, probably trying to defend one of the takedowns. The cage also gets very slippery. It's a vinyl surface. When it gets wet with sweat or blood, it becomes very slippery, makes your foot very unstable, and you're kind of prone to ankle twists and knee twists.
Yeah, it would be a shame if he's too injured to go on. I doubt that he's going to sit on a stool, but it'd be a shame if he couldn't go on because he had a very successful first round against Ferdinando Acerra in his with his home crowd behind him.
No, if I know anything about Joe Pacheco and Renegade Fighting Systems, he's coming out of that corner for the second round.
I would venture to say you're correct, Master of Cool.
He's still got a slight limp on it. It looks like he's trying to kind of walk it off, test it out a little bit.
It looks a little stronger now than it did a minute ago.
Now, Pacheco's got a potentially injured knee. Acerra looks like he's pretty winded. So
we don't know if Acerra knows that Pacheco's leg is injured. We'll see how he holds up on it.
Immediately goes back for the takedown again. Now Pacheco reverses it and goes to take down Acerra, and he gets him down.
Right here in front of us, Acerra trying to post up and get himself back to his feet. Pacheco controlling position, trying to land some body shots.
Working the ribs.
Acerra looking for the guillotine. Pacheco does need to be careful here. He does have a guillotine victory over Ryan Freeman.
Pacheco's passing around to the outside, using the cage, blocking the way for him to pull back guard. Acerra gives up his back. And he's back up.
He's back up to his feet. Pacheco still on his back. Pacheco landing some little knees to the back of the hamstring, which are a lot more devastating than one would think.
Yeah, those definitely do hurt. He pulls Acerra back down to the ground. Still continuing to land good strikes.
Ferdinando's trying to isolate the arm to get to the other side, which he almost does, and reverses the position. But Pacheco drives right back in. Oh, he's got an arm-in guillotine.
Arm-in guillotine.
And it's tight.
Arm-in guillotine. Pacheco's he's trying to pass. And he taps. And he taps. Ferdinando Acerra. And the crowd goes crazy.
This crowd is insane as they root for Ferdinando Acerra taking his 6th win.
Pacheco was trying to pass the guard, but the way that Acerra had his guard in, the way he was passing was actually making the guillotine tighter. He had no way out with the cage on one side and the leg up over on the other side. Beautiful job by Acerra.
He was definitely trapped. Fantastic job by Ferdinando Acerra. And this crowd is just electric. And there you have it. Ferdinando Acerra retains his Fight Lab 205 belt against the very dangerous and game Joseph Pacheco. Fantastic fight, fantastic main event. Fight Lab 22, Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina. You are watching MMA on the Rise.
Thanks again for watching another episode of MMA on the Rise. I'm your host, Tom Ziegler.
And I'm your fight tech, Paul Boo. Make sure to like us on Facebook.
You can also subscribe to us on YouTube at MMA OTR.
Also, check us out on MMAontherise.tv. See you next time.